Hey, music lovers, you know what time it is. It's time for another Vinnie Vincent update. That's right. It's time for another train wreck update. Vinnie Vincent, I'm not going to go into it because there's so much to talk about with him. If you don't know who he is, he used to be a guitar player in Kiss. He was there when the makeup came off. He replaced Ace Frehley. He helped to co-write songs like I Love It Loud and Lick It Up. And he went away for 20 years. Nobody knew what the hell he was up to. He shows up. Maybe he looks like a woman. There were rumors that he had an operation and was transitioned. Although that is like nothing now. You know, this is a guy that was supposedly a shredder. You know, this was the guy that, Gene and Paul had to practically kick off stage when he would do his guitar solos because he would just keep going on and on and on. I mean, he was known for playing these real elaborate, just, wanker solos. And he comes back after 20 years. Yeah, he kind of looks like a woman dressing kind of frumpy, but that's the least of his problems. Like, he can't even play the guitar hardly. I mean, he played at a pre-Kiss cruise party, and he didn't do any solos. And so it's like, well, what's up with him? If this is a shredder, why can't he play the guitar? Like, why can't he play any solos, play anything of any substance? He also scheduled concerts. He scheduled 3 of them. 1 last year, 2 this year, all got canceled. And people were complaining about not being able to get their money back. And the circumstances for each show just kept getting weirder and weirder. The last one was going to be held in a rehearsal space in Nashville with the concert one night, meet and greet the next day. I mean, just real bizarre shit. He was promising like an hour-long guitar jam. That never happened. And so now he has decided that he's going to, and by the way, I'm going to put a link up to the last video that I did about Vinnie, and so you can get caught up on all that crap. But basically, Vinnie has come out again now through private channels, through his private Facebook groups that are, I guess there's still people who are believing in him and following him. I don't know why, but he still has a few fans left. And apparently, he wrote a letter to his fans about having a private event. And what's interesting about this letter is that it really reveals, I mean, not that I didn't already kind of know this, that he was a whack job, but this letter really shows you that he's got something going on mentally, that he's just not right. It's getting to the point now where he's almost berating the only fans that he has left who would come see him. And I'm going to get to it. I'm going to read the letter here and go through it. All right, so he starts off the letter with, to all Vinnie Vincent fans, this is my statement straight from the heart. When Steve came to me with the idea of celebrating my birthday with the fans, I loved the idea right off. So instead of coming out, giving an apology about how, he canceled the last 3 shows, any of that stuff, the inconveniences, people may have bought concert tickets, hotel rooms, all that stuff. Don't say I'm sorry, don't explain what happened, just let's get into the next thing. Like, we're dying with bated breath to figure out what this guy's not going to do next. Then he says that Euphoria and Legion have become a safe haven for true Vinnie Vincent fans. He's talking about these groups, these online groups where the fans are, that he knows, he kind of feels like he can connect with those people because they're the only ones that really, truly buy into whatever shit he's peddling. Then he says, these sites were intended to protect the good fans from the restless internet bullying mobs of hate-filled lunatics engaged in the systematic witch hunt to sabotage my brand name and reputation. So he's blaming others for sabotaging his name and ruining his reputation. This is what he's claiming that others are doing to him. Okay, we live in a weird fucking time when a few rejects from the wanna ride the coattails of Vinnie Vincent but got booted club post well-crafted, libelous slogans and appear on slimy podcasts to trigger misinformed, low information Vinnie Vincent fans with lies, propaganda, and fake news. So this is coming from Vinnie Vincent talking about wanna be, or I should say, wanna ride the coattails. Who the hell would want to ride the coattails of Vinnie Vincent? I mean, what does he have to offer? He's riding the coattails of Kiss. Okay, so let's get to the rest of the open letter from Vinnie to his fans. He says, these Vinnie fans who at one time may have had good intentions, sadly have become aggressive, violent, vengeful, and hate-infected radicals due to the ingested bullshit they are constantly fed daily by these losers. I would imagine that he's talking about not necessarily me, but probably YouTube channels like me, websites like me, people who are judging him, criticizing him, finding fault in what he's not doing. And he's basically saying that people like me or people that criticize him we're infecting his fan base. We're distorting his reputation. We're feeding them with lies and we're turning them against him. This is a guy who hasn't shown up for one show, right? He's promised 3. He has not honored one of them, okay? Keep that in mind here. And so he goes on. As a result, these lost fans have become malignant and malevolently obsessive with anything Vinnie Vincent, to the point where their desperation finds them at the doors of Legion and Euphoria, spying and doing anything to get in to discover real news, stories, or information at any cost to feed their sickness, which they twist out of context. So he makes it sound like there's these fans that are just clamoring for real information about Vinnie Vincent, and maybe there are, but he's not doing anything for them. What has he done for his fan base? He hasn't performed for them. He's promised them shows that may have cost them money to make arrangements. They may have had to take off work. They may, like I said, airline tickets, hotels. He has these shows, he cancels them. He charges outrageous amounts. The last show that he had in Nashville that was going to be held in a rehearsal space, $300 a head. Meet and greet the next day. Okay, so you don't even go to the show one night, you're there, you're done, you get this shit over with. No. Show one night, meet and greet the next day. Coming from a guy who hasn't done or delivered shit. This is what he expected fans to do, and of course he didn't deliver. So then he goes on to say, because of this derangement syndrome, I have reached out to my fans on a private invite basis to share in this special event on my birthday. At this point, I'm not certain if this fight against this collective insanity is worth any more effort, so the decision is up to you, the true fans. So now he's putting it on you, the true fans who have stood by all this bullshit that's been going on over the past year, this clown show. It's on you. It's up to you. Are you going to buy a ticket? Are you going to show up? It's all up to you now. He's a guy who, like I said, he hasn't delivered shit. Then he goes on to say, if we meet the numbers to balance out the birthday event related expenditures, it's a go. At that point, I am planning some surprises, and it will be a blast. We've heard this before. There's going to be some surprises. Yeah, and the big surprise has been, hey, you booked a hotel room? You took a flight? Yeah, well, fuck you. There's not going to be a show. How about that? Surprise. So then he goes on to say, it's important for me to publicly enjoy this ride with the fans, whether it's playing, recording, or reconnecting with the fans, but it's getting more difficult at every turn. So the truth is, and get this, my appearances may be ending. Really? Is that a promise, Vinny? If that's the one promise that you can keep, then I say go for it. I'm happy to play, write, and record in private, if need be. So it works out one way or the other for me. So he's acting like he's got all this great shit going on behind the scenes. He's playing and recording and all this stuff. But when it comes to doing anything in public, so then he goes on to say, so if you want it, grab it now, as this will not be an ongoing event. If you make this happen and want to hear a no-holds-barred, gloves-off interview, and more, this will be the first of its kind and the last interview I plan on giving. Wow. Now, here are some promises that Vinny should keep. No more appearances, no more interviews. That means we don't get any more bullshit, no more deception, and we don't have to listen to him anymore. Vinny, please deliver on these promises. I really do hope you do. So if you are one of the fans that is sucker enough to go see this show, put your hard-earned money into this fool, this is what he says, okay? There would be no filming, no recording. Now, why do you think? because it's just not very much fun to watch a guy with his thumb up his ass, probably, because what's he going to be doing? It would be an embarrassment for you to, you would think that if he was a shredder and he had all this great talent and could do all this stuff, that you'd be like, yeah, record it. I want people to see it. Why? Because in this day and age, people, there's things go viral, kind of like how your bad reputation has gone viral. Well, good things can go viral too. And so if somebody sees you playing, maybe they'll want to come buy a ticket to come see your ass. Just an idea. So then he says, no one outside the attendees will have any entitlement to witness this event online other than you. I mean, don't you feel special? All right, so then he goes on a little bit more and more, but getting to the end of the letter, he says, I am working now to have new Vinnie merch at the event, if everyone can get confirmed as soon as possible. So he doesn't have the merchandise yet. He has to wait until people give him money, and then he's going to get some t-shirts printed that I'm sure you're dying to wear. Then he says that there's going to be music, a Q&A, food, signings, photos, and more. The music is probably going to be playing over the loudspeaker. I haven't heard him mention that he's going to be shredding, that he's going to be playing his ass off, going to be playing any certain songs. He's talked about an interview. Like, is this what people are going to do? Don't people want to know what they're going to get for whatever it is that they're going to wind up paying you? They're just going to come listen to you talk? Who the hell wants to do that? Then he says maybe some special friends will attend. Yeah, I wonder if they're invisible. I don't know. Because I wonder, what friends does he have? Who's going to want to show their face that's of any count? You know what I mean? Who is going to want to show up and be like, yeah, I'm with Vinnie. I endorse this, whatever the fuck it is. You think anybody's going to do that that's of any count? No, he'll probably bring his neighbor with him. Then he says, moreover, stop believing these triggered topics and phrases such as Vinnie doesn't show up, Vinnie can't play, and Vinnie rips off his fans. These people need to grow the fuck up. Can you imagine him saying this stuff? We need to grow up because people keep saying that Vinnie can't play, which he can't. He hasn't proven that he can. Why don't you prove that you can? Then he says, Vinnie doesn't show up. Well, your last 3 gigs that you scheduled, you canceled them. So you don't show up. So explain that. And you really haven't explained that. Then he says, Vinnie rips off his fans. Yeah, that's another one. I know personally that fans have gotten ripped off. I helped one of them get his money back. If you look at the comments on one of the videos I did about Vinnie, might have been the last one, had a guy reach out to me, told me that he got ripped off. He tried to get his money back and he heard nothing. I said, go to your credit card company. He did. He got his dough back. So I'm helping people get their money back. All right, so then he says, this is cleverly fabricated propaganda invented by the banished and rejected leeches who got the boot, who in desperation decided to slander the name of Vinnie Vincent to bring importance and relevance to themselves. No, it's really nothing like that. I know for myself, I made a video about Vinnie because it was just a fascinating story of somebody who was gone for 20 years, kind of like with Steve Perry. I did a video about him. I did a video about him early last year, like what the hell is up with Steve Perry? And then he shows up. Now, Steve Perry shows up, he puts out an album, he goes on a lot of interviews. He hasn't done any live shows yet, but he can sing. He's living up to his name and to his reputation. That's how you come back. Vinnie Vincent has come back a train wreck, and he's blaming it on you. He's blaming it on the fans. He's blaming it on all the people that are disgruntled because he hasn't lived up to his promises. All right, so now we're getting to the end of the letter, and he says, if you want to hear me play, you want proof? Buy a ticket. That's simple. Put your money where your big mouth is. Imagine that. He's telling you, the hardcore fans, the only people left that give a shit, he's telling you, put your money where your big mouth is. Imagine the nerve of this guy saying that to his hardcore fans. Then he says, you don't get it for free, whether by demand, threat, intimidation, or challenge. So, I will hopefully, if I haven't pissed you off enough, see my fans on August the 10th at the birthday party bash. Where we go from there will be by special invite. Ooh, that sounds real exciting. So if the birthday bash is a success, expect a private invitation to Speedball Jam next. And in case you don't know, Speedball Jam is what he promised last time and did not deliver on. So Apparently, he's not going to be playing Speedball Jam at this upcoming whatever the hell it is. Didn't expect him to do it anyway, but at least you know you're not getting that. That's going to be for the next catastrophe that might come. If he hasn't stopped ending his appearances or stopped giving interviews, which I doubt he'll stop doing because it sounds like he's an attention whore with some issues. So I don't see him going away. I would just look forward to more pathetic little private invitations to his hardcore fans. That's pretty much all he's got now. He hasn't even made any public official announcements. It's all being done through these little Facebook groups, these little hole in the walls, where supposedly there are people who still give a shit about Vinnie Vincent. You know, it's pretty sad what's going on with him. I don't know what's going on with him, but he's kind of berating his fans, putting the blame on others for him not being able to perform, for him not being able to keep his promises. He's definitely got some mental issues happening, and I hope he gets help. I hope he stops doing interviews. I hope he stops promising things that he can't deliver on. I hope he gets to some help and attention. Somebody can get through to him, and you know, maybe there is a better life for Vinnie, but it's not going to be promising what you can't deliver on. And so let me know what you think. What do you think about this latest Vinnie Vincent fiasco? Drop it down in the comments below. Let me know what you think about all this shit. Are you going to go to this birthday bash? Are you one of the hardcore fans that, you know, you're going to put your money where your big mouth is? Be sure to drop it below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Hit that subscribe button too. And more videos coming soon. So stay tuned. All right, take care.